Today we will discuss about cost of equity. Cost is denoted with K and equity is denoted with E. Hence we generally say cost of equity is K. Now ideally cost of equity means, of course, what is equity? Equity is the amount which equity shareholders have given to the company. They can give amount in two forms. First, whatever capital they have given, it is also called as equity share capital. And on this capital, whatever amount is earned by the company but not given as dividends to shareholders, that is also part of equity, is called as retained earnings. This ESC is also called as contributed capital. RE is also called as earned capital. So your contributed capital plus your earned capital on this total equity, whatever company needs to pay to equity holders is called as cost of equity. Now ideally, what company has to pay to debt holders, they know very well. What company has to pay to preference holders, that is also clear cut dividend rate which is to be given. So there is no ambiguity as to what is to be given to the debenture holders, what is to be given to preference holders. But when it comes to equity, company is not clear because there is no such compulsory obligation कि कुछ देना ही है उनको. Not required. कंपनी में थिंक हमको 25, 30, 40 साल तक कुछ भी नहीं देंगे. That will also do. In that case, if the company is not giving anything in the form of dividends, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि पैसा फ्री में यूज कर रहे हैं. तो what the entire working of cost of this equity changes because there is no compulsory payment, no fixed payment. So 1 year you may give 0, another year you may give 200% returns to equity holders. Third year again 50%, fourth year again 10%, fifth year again 0. Hence, it is difficult to find this cost of equity from company's point of view because company has a fluctuating return. Hence, we look for, to compute this cost of equity, we look from investors' point of view. What we say, whatever investors are expecting, of course, they should get that much to remain invested. So whatever investors are expecting to receive, we say that is our cost. Now how do I find what they are expecting? They are expecting returns for two things. One, they are remaining invested in the company for a time period. So for the time period, for the time value, they want something which is a very nominal, known as RF, risk free. Means without taking any risk, if I'm investing somewhere for 5 years, I am getting, say for example, 3% per annum. Minimum required return will be 3%, which will be called as risk free return. Why this is there? Because they are remaining invested. So for the time period, for not taking for the risk, but only for a time period, they want this risk free return. But of course they cannot be happy with risk free because companies are not at all risk free. They are most risky investments. So along with this risk free, they want something in addition. Now what do they want in addition? They want some additional returns for the risk they are taking. Now how can I find how much they can demand for risk? They say what is the risk or what is the return given by average stock in the market. That can be computed as RM minus RF. What is RM minus RF? RM is market return. Market over here are the indices, your Nifty, your Sensex, or you can take some foreign indices, anything, index basically, which has a group of companies represented through index. So when you do RM minus RF, what are you actually doing? You are trying to say if risk free rate is 3%, and in market average return given by every stock, which will be denoted by RM, generally market gives means what stocks are giving. So market gives, say for example, 8%, means averagely a stock in the market is giving 8%. I will say a average stock, or a stock which is moving in line with the market, which is less risky, or which is as much risky as market is. So any stock which is as good as market is 8%, is giving returns 8%. Risk free is 3. Means why this stock is giving, or why this market is giving 8%? The additional 5% is given for the risk. Additional 5 is what? 8 minus 3. Additional market is giving you 5%. So a stock which is moving in line with the market is giving you an additional return of 5%. So if my company, where I am, whose cost of equity I'm trying to find, if that company is also moving in line with the market exactly 1 to 1, I will also be expecting this 5%. But what if my company is more risky than this average return giving company, or my company is less risky as compared to market? In that case, if a company is more risky, of course the returns expected will be more. If the company is less risky, of course the returns expected will be less. How do you denote that risk? How do you come to that value? That is given by one single number known as beta factor. This beta factor tries to summarize the entire risk of that stock in relation to the market. So if a company's beta comes to 2, what does this 2 means? That when the market moves by 1%, either side, up or down, the stock will move 2 times, either up or down. Whenever I say about risk is morely moving downwards. Means if market falls by 10%, my stock will fall by 20%. More risk. If more risk is there, more returns will be expected. And if more returns are expected, more will be the cost of equity. So again I repeat, how do you find the cost of equity? There is no such thumb rule that okay, this, even if after doing this whatever value you get will be the perfect cost of equity. Don't know, because we don't come to a number as to what is to be given to equity holders. It depends upon company to company. So this is an assumption that investors are very well informed, they understand the markets, and hence they will be expecting this. With this assumption, I say this is the cost. So what they are expecting? They are expecting a fixed return for the time they are remaining invested, RF, and for the risk they are taking, they are expecting more returns, which will be in comparison to the beta of that stock as compared to the market. So simple way to say, if RF in the market is 3%, RF is 3%, market is giving you return of 8%, and beta of your stock is, say for example, 1.5. In that case, they require this 3, no doubt. They require this 3, no doubt. And they are saying, how much is the market giving extra? Market is giving extra 5%. Why market is giving extra? Because market possesses that risk which is not there in this RF. So this 5 can be sometimes 50% also, or this 5 can also go to even 0 or negative. Market can give you negative returns also. That is a risk. Hence we are investing in the markets. Multiplied, but this is the risk of the market. I want the risk of my company. Let's generate by one number, beta, which is into 1.5. If you solve this, you get 10.5%. Means we can say averagely this company, whosoever is investing, is expecting a return of 10.5% on his capital. and this entire working is called as CAPM model. Full form, capital asset pricing model. One of the most popular one used to compute cost of equity. But it is only one module. There are of course 2-3 different ways to compute cost of equity. One of them is this CAPM model, which is used very frequently. But there are issues, like when I say beta, whether this, because if you understand company A, company B, company B, for both the companies RF will be same, RM minus RF will be same. What will differ will be only the beta factor. So this beta factor of A and beta factor of B, this both will define what will be their cost of equity. In that case, this beta plays a very important role. One more thing to note, this RM minus RF is also called as equity risk premium. Sometimes they call it as market risk premium also, equity risk premium, market risk premium, or RM minus RF. So this beta, if you can compute it very well, and if this beta clearly signifies the riskiness of the stock, then only we can say that okay, CAPM model is logically viable. So this computation of beta in itself is a very complex work. As far as questions are concerned, beta is given to us, but I will make a separate video as to how you should come to beta of any company, because this will define what will be the cost of equity. Other models will also be discussed gradually. Thank you.